Okay, so we're going to go through the home buying case study, and I'm sorry if I'm talking fast, but I've done it twice now and I keep going just over. So this is the family that we're going to have, Tyler, my husband, and me. This is in the future. We're going to have one kid by the time we buy this house, and then eventually have three more kids and a dog. So our financial situation, we're really lucky with an average monthly income of $11,000, and that is going to be starting out. We also will have 20,000 in investing, 20,000 in savings, and two cars with no debt. And so that is like the minimum. So unique thing is we want to retire early to serve a couple's mission, but we'd love to go international because I study languages. So we need enough to live on during and after. So retirement's really important to us. So we have 2,750 available for a mortgage payment. And then any major factors, thankfully, like we're really good off. We have a very good financial situation with absolutely no debts, and we don't plan on having any debts besides tithing, and so nothing really affecting us. So our requirements is we want a large yard because we love sports. We want a large living room, and we need as many bedrooms as possible, but at least for these houses, four. So our dream home, you can see that list price right there, $349,000 with a monthly mortgage payment of $1,666 with 18 cents. And it does have the things we need: four bedroom, a large backyard, large living room, and game room. They do have two separate ones. And it's on a 1 acre lot, and it's a newer house, which is really nice. So our modest home, it is $220,000 with a monthly mortgage payment of $1,050 with 31 cents. And it does have four bedrooms. It does have a game room. It does have a large backyard as well. It is an older house though, which is a little bit harder. So for our budget, as you can see there, we've kind of calculated what our taxes are going to be. We are planning on paying tithing. We also have our long-term savings, and as you can tell, we really believe in saving a lot. We put our mortgage and rent in with our pity in there, so you can see that. And then we have already kind of figured out what we're going to be paying for medical bills or medical insurance, all of that stuff. And so we're really lucky because we kind of know with our future jobs. So we're planning on having a 6-month emergency fund. So Tyler's job is really stable as he's an engineer, but also we just want to make sure, because sometimes oil prices do go down, so you want to make sure that there is enough. And so we are continually saving, but we're trying to put in as much as we can. And so this is for the dream home, and we were planning on putting about 10% down on the down payment, so that we could keep an emergency fund, because it was more of a middle ground. But as you can see, in the future, this will change a little bit. So we have our mortgage terms, and so we're thinking about the dream home. So we have our 30-year loan compared to a 15-year loan. The APR is not overly different from what we could find as 3.5 compared to 3.125. And the monthly payment isn't too crazy either. It's $1,410.45 for a 30-year loan, and then, as you can tell, for the 15-year, $2,188.05. And still down payment for both of those, and the credit score, thankfully, we are considered excellent for both of our scores. So our taxes, as you can see, our monthly property tax is $204.50 with 50 cents, and so that would come out to our annual property tax, as you can just see right there. So we have, without a home, we want to talk about our home mortgage tax deductions. Without a home, we would just take the standard one, and with a home, we would be taking the itemized, of course, is $29,535 with 67 cents. And then with a family tax liability, if we didn't have a home, you can see right there. And then with a home, we have that much. It's not that much of a difference, but it's a good amount of difference. So that's an important thing to keep in mind. Okay, so we when we buy this house, and right now we have two cars that are already paid off. We really only buy cars in cash, which is what we've always done. And so after putting down a large down payment, we're planning on getting a van because we're planning on having more children, but that is 6 years after we buy the house, and so there'll be enough money to just get the to just buy that after and save up for that. So it's in our budget. We're planning a 50 a month for gas, just because I work from home and we will live within 5 miles of my husband's work. And so we have a lot of room in the miscellaneous section for possible repairs, and we have a very large and stable emergency fund as well for anything that could occur with them. And then we have $108 a month for car insurance, which is what we pay already for both of our cars. So those are our paid off cars, the Lexus and Hyundai Elantra, and then this is kind of a future car option. So for long-term debts, we only have tithing, as you can see right there, $1,100 per month. And so that's really the only thing. We pay credit cards every month, and we only buy cars with cash. So the next thing we will have will be the house, and that should be the only thing besides tithing. So this is our dream home. This is not the one we plan on going for, as you can see it'll switch to Modest Home. But when you see that payment, you can it really helped us decide to go for the Modest Home, because $2,804 compared to $1,511. And so as you can see here, principal and interest, and then property tax, home insurance, and then no PMI, which is really nice. But all of that is quite a bit less than the dream home. So we would qualify for our home mortgage, because as you can tell, we want to use the 36% rule. And so we added up all of our debts, including PITI. And so as you can see, that comes out to $2,827. And if you take that divided by our monthly gross income, that's 25.7%, which is really great. So that is a really good deal for us. And so we would be able to qualify for that for the Modest Home. Okay, so for buying, if we buy the house, there are a lot of good options. We could deduct interest. We would be able to have a suburban area, large backyard, a lot of space for kids. But we would have to pay interest and have a greater fixed payment. And also, if we needed to move for his job, which is unlikely but possible, or need a larger house, it would make it a little bit harder. So, but for renting, maintenance would be done by the landlord, which is nice. More freedom to move for the job. And then they only have 3 people in the house, and so if we wanted to wait till we had more children, we could possibly find a better option. But rent could also increase, we could end up paying more, and then there are less options near my husband's work anyway for the apartments, and so and we wouldn't have access to a backyard, so those are some cons for that. So overall, it makes more sense to buy a house, because it's very unlikely that they'll have to move, so we're planning on staying in that location for a while. We want to make it our own, and we have the income and money as well as the savings, so buying a house would make the most sense. So for the total interest for the Modest Home, as you can see here, for 15-year and a 30-year is very different. So if you take these two numbers, you take the 30 minus 15, and that's the answer right there. So the family would save $63,829.80 in purely interest by choosing the 15-year loan, which is a huge amount. Okay, so we want to talk about the investment and appreciation. So we have right here, so this is the Modest Home calculation of what it will be, the kind of appreciation of the house in the future in the dream home. And so what we want to do though is we want to think about how the dream home minus the Modest Home payment, this is how much we would save just by doing the Modest Home. So if we put that into right here into our calculator, and we invest that in the stock market, then the wonderful thing is that we would be able to receive a lot of money, because we could look at the home appreciation as well as the investment amount, and then it comes out to over $2.5 million. And if you take that number and subtract the dream home appreciation, we would actually have over $700,000 more just by doing that, rather than just buying the dream home with only the home appreciation. So also with our budget, so I did a 7 just because I looked up and it did say that it was about 7 for a lot of stock market, and I wanted to be a little bit more conservative with this, especially with what's going on right now. And so that's what we plan for long-term savings, and if we invest that for 30 years, we would have over $4 million, which is a ton of money. And so we're hoping to do that with stocks and bonds eventually in the future, but stocks for right now. So overall, the best housing option we have is definitely the Modest Home. We could put down 20%, which means no PMI. We would have a 15-year mortgage, have all the necessary things, including a large backyard. They're planning on staying there for more than 10 years, and so there should be enough time and space for them. They also can have an emergency fund. Tithing is factored into it, and so they would definitely be able to pay it in that moment, as well as anything in the future, including their debts and savings. So in the future, it's also important to be aware of the tax bracket because they plan to earn more money as the year goes on, and that would, and so they still want to make sure they don't buy anything too crazy, even if they have more money. So it always should be something you put 20% down, have a 15-year mortgage, still have an emergency fund, investing, paying all the debts. So we need to make sure all that's done before we really decide to plan something that or buy something that is a lot larger. And so that's my presentation, and so that is definitely what we've decided.